Okay, I started to do this live. I decided to do this live, so let's go ahead and... No, that's not what I wanted to do. F face. There, that's what I wanted to do. Let's go straight to the org. Let's look at the questions. So, how to configure GA4, where you see weekly, monthly traffic for a specific web page. The dashboard in GA4 doesn't have it. GA3 or UA has it. How do you do it? I said I used to do this, but if I don't see it, I can't remember. And I don't remember at the top of my head, so let's go ahead and do it. Okay, GA. When this video goes live, I might block off some of the names of these companies because I don't supposed to be sharing their information. But let's go ahead and see this. So looking at the report you were looking at, it was page views. So if it's page views, you are looking at the all pages report. You're not even looking at traffic sources. So, and you could see you have it by date, and when you click on month or week, you could view it by month or week. I have a short time range. If I expand the time range and I do this, and I see by month, and then you could see how it is by month, you could see how it is by day, by week. Okay, so if I go to GA4, so I'll simply duplicate this. I'm going to use the same client on their GA4 property. In their GA4 property, this is the dashboard. The equivalent of the all pages report is under engagement pages and screens. Under pages and screens, you don't get the same visualization though. If I go to the time range, let's say I go October up to February. Looks like I can't go for a very long time range. That's 12 months. Let's just do that. Apply. And again, you don't see that timeline. Okay, so let's go ahead. And initially I said it's in the analysis menu. This used to be called analysis, now it's Explorer. And for those that are using paid GA360, not the free one, there is an additional link here that says analysis. But now it's also named Explorer, so they both change over time. So what I really want to say is Explore, and then under the exploration, you basically arrive in this area. Now there are multiple graphs. Sometimes you could start from scratch. Sometimes it's just easier to choose any one of them and edit it. Okay, there is no timeline graph here, but I'll simply go to freeform. Okay, here under freeform, what you're seeing is tabular data. Okay, now the default dimension that they're showing here is device. What you need in your report, you were basically looking at specific pages and looking at the page views. So let's go ahead and add the page over here. I'll simply search for it, page. Page path and query string is what like the equivalent of GA UA is, the Universal Analytics. GA4 defaults to page titles and screen name, but just to make it the same, I'll go page path query string first and import. Now that you have it here, it's not appearing in the report, only when it's under here. Now it's currently set to city. I'll simply drag it over, put it over here. Okay, and I will remove city. Okay, so we have something similar. Now the metric though is active users, while the metric you were looking at is basically page views, and your graph is using page views. So I will change this column, no, these values of active users. I will change it to page views. So I click on the plus, I search for page and screen, views. So this is what we want, page views. And then it's not going to appear there, but I could drag it over there under values. Now I don't want to show the active users anymore. I'll simply hide that. Okay. There's unique page views. So since your graph is mainly page views, I will only use page views for now. And we already have the page and we already have the views. You could see that it's segmented in different columns by the columns here, device category. I'll simply remove that. So this is basically what you want to graph. Now if you scroll all the way on top, you could see there's a table, there's a pie chart, there is a line chart. Simply click on the line chart and boom, that's what you have. This is now looking at each individual page, okay, which is a lot of pages. We don't necessarily want all of that. So and you could see that this is currently under breakdowns. I will simply remove that in breakdowns. Boom. And where is the granularity? I will choose by week. Wait, why is it all zoomed in? So there you have it. I'm looking at it by day and you could see the time range. It is now a graph. There is anomaly detection, which is like the bands over here. If it goes in and out of that, there's like some anomaly of those page views. It's like something is not normal based on the data. I'll simply hide that anomaly detection and just show the graph. So I have it split by day. If I choose week, this is weird. What is my time range? Okay, let's do this time range. Last 30 days. Okay, so there's my by week. Quarter to date, let's do that. Okay. So this is basically the first quarter. If I choose this by month, is grayed out. Maybe because I don't have enough in my time range. What if I go all the way back? They're grayed out. It looks like I could only do it since December 22. That is only as far as I could go. But I think this already achieves what you wanted to see. Okay, it's a time series. You could see the graph of up and down. I'm looking mainly at the page views, which is the views, and you could see how it went up and down during this time range. I could change the weekly to daily. My month is grayed out, and I cannot choose a longer time range specifically for this account. For other accounts, most likely you can. But looks like this is what you want. Now, if ever you still want this also, but you don't see the table because you were looking at this, but you don't see the table. Oops, I zoomed in. Let me go back to the day. Now, because here you have the graph, you have the table. Here in GA4, you have the graph, you don't have the table. You could also have the table, but not the graph. You could do that, but they are not together. So what you could do is you could duplicate this And then this first one, you could simply call it, you know, page view graph, for example. And then this one, you could call it, we could rename it page view table. Could name it anything. I choose the freeform data, which is the table. And then under the dimensions, my rows right there. So I have my I have my page views. If I want it to be the same, page views, unique page views, average time on page. So let's go ahead and do that. Page views. Let's see if unique page views still exists. No. There is not the same dimension of unique page views, but there is average time on page, entrances. No, that's not it. I think this is more on engagement. Okay, I can't remember. Device. Okay, so I don't have the exact metric that you use as an equivalent for average time on page, but I'm looking at dimension. I'm supposed to be looking at metric. So let's do that again. Duration, engagement, average time on page. This is per session. This is per session. They don't have it per page, but I will just do engagement time per session as a close substitute. And then entrances, bounce rate, exits. So let's do that. Entrances, bounce rate is defined differently in GA4, that the metric doesn't even exist, I believe. Let me double check. Yeah, see, bounce rate doesn't exist anymore. You're only looking at engagement rate instead. How engaged a user is. So I will put that here instead. Exits and page value. Let's see if there's an exit. Yes. Page values would all be 0 on my end because there's really no event that also ties a specific value. So I'll keep it at this. Okay. So this is it. This is the equivalent of your report. This is how it is in GA4. You have a graph and you have a table. I mean GUA, Universal Analytics. This is how it is in GA4. I have a graph in a separate tab, and I have a table in a separate tab. And that's it.